Okay, Becky, tell us what we've installed today.
Well, today we've installed my Garmin 93sv fish finder.
Are you excited?
Yep.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a full installation of a Garmin 93sv on Becky's Hobie PA12. Let's get started. We're going to go over now the parts that we're going to need for the installation. Included in this box was our 9-inch monitor and standard bracket, our nice monitor cover, our transducer and cable that we're going to be using, our power source cable, and also included was a bracket for a different application, but we're going to use it as a template to mount this transducer on our bottom plate of our Pro Angler. Additional parts that did not come in the box that we're going to be needing for the installation is a power source number 1. Our choice was a FPV power, 12 volts, 17.5 amps per hour, mounted to a Burley Pro boomerang that is going to mount in the back hatch. To attach the battery, we're going to need an adapter that's going to mount to our power cable. We're going to attach to this monitor to an H-rail that we're going to custom fit on the front of our Hobie. Also, to attach that to the H-rail, we're going to need an adapter with an arm that's made by Ram from Hobie. As you can see, it's a lot of adjustment here. We also, to attach that bracket, we're going to need a H-rail 1.5-inch Ram ball. And I believe that's all the parts we're going to need for the installation. Any more parts as we go along, then we'll talk about. Well, let's get this installation going. Excited to get this thing mounted on our Pro Angler. Okay, our first step is we had to take this Hobie Guardian retractable transducer shield. There was 3 screws that we took off the base of the kayak. Then we had to turn it over and take 6 screws out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The reason why we took them 6 screws out is that allows this to move in to protect the transducer once we get it mounted on there. The next step we had to do was the original plate that come in here, just fitted like this. Took these 2 screws out, take it off. This come with your Pro Angler with the accessories. You just step that in and screw it in. Alright, so we installed this shield. It is a protector for the transducer. So when we put the transducer on here, it's a protector. Alright, our next thing was we got to be able to put this cable through our shield here. So what I had to do was I took a Dremel tool and cut this out. Originally it was 2 little slots there, and I just widened it out more so it would go through once we install the transducer. Our next step is we're going to use this as a template for our transducer. It's the same thing as the transducer. It actually lines up with the threaded holes, you know, on this end. So we're going to use this to actually get it even. We're going to scribe the holes. What I did was scribe these 2 holes first, drilled it with a 5/32 bit, put 2 screws in there, and then made sure the bottom was even. Drilled 2 more, so we're going to hold it with these 4 screws right here. Alright, after using the template to mark 4 holes that bolts the transducer, we put them here and here. Works perfectly because we cut this out, remember earlier, for that wire to go through. So now fits perfect behind the little shield there, and it fits tight, so, and it'll move up. When we pull the transducer cable up, it'll pull up to clear anything on the bottom. All right, we're now ready to install the transducer shield back up into the kayak. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take this cable and run it through. Next thing, once we got the cable up in there, we got to tie this rope around this cable here so that it'll retract when we pull the retractable cable for the transducer. Okay, once we have the transducer cable tied to this right here, that'll allow it to retract back up in here. We're going to attach this back on with the 3 screws that we have. One thing you want to make sure is when you're tightening these, you don't over tighten them. Just snug them up. All right, now we're going to check, see if it retracts. We're going to pull the cable from inside the kayak. Is that it? Next, we're going to take the 3 screws out of here because we got to run our transducer cable back into the hull. So we pull this off. There's a gasket underneath here. It's going to go back down that way, but what we got to do is we got to run our cable right back through here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to find the right grommet that fits around this snug so there's no water leakage. Then we're going to put it around the cable, put it through here, and then tighten everything back down. A little bit of loose play in here, so it's not real jammed up tight, and that's perfect right there. So we'll tighten everything back down. Hand tight. Do not over tighten because you're just screwing into plastic. And we tighten this back up here that we had a little loose to get it cable through. Our next step is to put the bar on the front, our HBar. First thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to grind this so it matches this because it's not completely flat like it is here. So I had to take a little sander and just keep working it very lightly until I got it to the right angle. Then we're going to attach it with 1¼ by 1/4 by 20 bolt. Oh, before I do this, let me explain where I mounted this, and you'll see when we finish up. I drilled the hole right from here 5½ inches back from right here, and 1½ inch in from the inside, and it's pretty much in line with these 2 screws going across, but that's it. And I'll put the measurement in the video. So we'll end up installing this back on here, and we did the same thing on the other side, and then we'll put the bar in here in just a minute. All right, now we just inserted the bar. In fact, to make this fit custom where I wanted it, I cut the bar at 17¾ inches. Then we assembled our ram ball and our ram extender to fit our standard bracket here. So everything's looking good right now, and we'll go ahead and get everything wired up, and then we'll show you the final product. Okay, finishing up, we decided to actually put the through hull mount here instead of using one of these 2 on the side. And the reason why is we wanted the cables shorter. We didn't want the cables running to either side and be more in the way of the cockpit. So all we had to do was mark it, drill a 1 3/8 through here. Hobie makes a Hobie through haul kit with the grommets to fit the hose. So we put that in here. We tied up the cables, inserted through figure of eight grommet. And we said earlier we're going to put the battery in the back, but because the power cable was so short, we ended up putting it up here, and it fits a lot better. And then as far as everything, we're all complete now. So let's see if it turns on. Takes a couple minutes to warm up. And bam! There we go. We're all ready. You can customize the screen how you want it. We just got the mapping on one side, sonar and clear view, which is down imaging on that. So thanks for watching. Leave any comments that you might have if you have any questions, and we'll see you on the next video.